Houthi prisoners after the Houthis released a Saudi prisoner on Tuesday. The International Committee of the Red Cross facilitated the transfer of the prisoner back to Riyadh. He's suffering from advanced hepatitis C. The UN envoy to Yemen, Martin Griffiths, says he wants to make prisoner swaps more common in an attempt to preserve a shaky ceasefire. Well, let's speak to the Yemen political analyst, Afrah Nasser, who's in the Swedish city of Gothenburg. How important are these prisoner swaps, particularly within the framework of a very shaky ceasefire deal in Hodeidah that could collapse at any time?
Absolutely. I think it's a very promising that we see one move forward. Well, and really from my experience in covering the peace talks here in Sweden, I saw how the different warring parties had, different political purposes in using the prisoners swap deal. For instance, for the Yemeni government and the Saudi party, they were like demanding the release of leaders from political parties, like from the Islah political party, who are hostage under the Houthis. And then on the other side, you see how the Houthis were using the swap deal for really larger political purpose, and that is, for instance, to lift the siege from Sana'a. So both sides are using these deals to try to put more of their demands, political demands, on the table. So I think it's very remarkable that for one Saudi prisoner, there were 7 Houthi prisoners, and that tell you more of the level of compromises from both sides.
Afrah, do we have any figures about the number of prisoners being held? I mean, before the Sweden talks, it was estimated there could be hundreds, but the UN envoy revealed at those talks that you were at that actually that number now could be in the thousands.
Absolutely. And as we speak and the war is dragging on, there are more and more prisoners or captives from both sides. For instance, we have seen minorities from the Baha'ai community and even women detainees in Houthi prisons, secret prisons in Sana'a. So the number is growing, and it's very important that the international community pressure being put on the warring parties to start and release these captives, because it's really it has shattered many families in Yemen. And you can see the headlines coming from Yemen, from mothers protesting tirelessly since the start of the war, demanding the release of their sons and brothers and husbands. So it's very, very important to continue the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the pressure there, Afrah, but how much pressure can the UN and Martin Griffiths, the UN Special Envoy to Yemen, bring to bear on both sides to continue these prisoner swaps? Because both sides have to compromise, but they have a long way to go, don't they?
Absolutely, and it's very important to see that there is imbalance in the political and military experience from both sides, and I could see how the Houthis are very clever in using this captive swap deal for pushing their political purposes, and they're very good in this domain and using captives in order to achieve something larger. And it's very remarkable that they released a Saudi patient or a sick captive in order to send a message about the almost destroyed or devastated healthcare system, especially in the north part of Yemen. So the Houthis are really playing it clever in this moment.
Afrah Nasser, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for your time.